Hello, I hope that everyone is doing great. I hope everyone is staying safe through these difficult times. And I hope most importantly, y'all are staying in the gym, staying prepared, and waiting for your shot that hopefully you're soon going to get. Now, I did a video similar to this a couple of years back, and I actually just posted about it last night. And I know a lot of people are still contacting me and asking the same question. So I'm going to go ahead and elaborate on what I originally had said in regards to players panicking if they don't get a job at the beginning of the European signing period, and so forth. So basically, first thing I want to say, first thing I want to touch on, Europe is not the only country in the world that plays basketball. It is not the only country outside of America that plays basketball at a high level. There's a lot of other good leagues around the world, and those leagues begin later on. So now you have to understand, leagues like the NBL and the leagues under that in Australia, they begin later on. They begin way after the European season. The PBA, I believe it's called in the Philippines, is a pretty good league, a very well organized league. They also begin later on. And there's several other leagues in South America that begin later on. There's actually a couple of leagues in Europe that begin a little later on as well. It's just all about knowing the market, knowing how things work. Basically, the point of this video is for all you players to understand one thing. If you have not gotten a job at the beginning of European season, it is far from over. It's not the only signing period. You continue working, you stay in the gym, and you stay prepared, and you continue to network. You get the right people in your corner, the right people to help you to understand the market, understand how everything works. For many reasons. One is not to be scammed. The other reason is to understand the market, to understand economies, to understand how things work around the world. So because you haven't got a job at the beginning of European signing period, which is this year actually got pushed back because of COVID. So you're looking at end of October, mid-November. I know a lot of leagues, like I believe the EBA league in Spain begins mid-November. There's several other leagues that begin mid-November. Some are still waiting to begin. So um, there's always going to be time of the year where you can be signed. Even if you don't make the European signing period, players every day, unfortunately, get injured, get cut, get sent home, leave themselves. So all year long, there's going to be openings. There's never really a reason to give up unless, if you're ready to give up that easy, you shouldn't have been trying, obviously, in the first place. Now, this part, that covers that. So, like I said, if you shouldn't have started if you're ready to begin. Now I want to talk about, this is just for African players. This is very, very, very important for players from Africa looking to play overseas. Now, I get hundreds of them weekly contacting me. Oh man, why can I get a shot? Why can I play overseas? And the reality is, I didn't create the market. I didn't create the industry. I'm just telling you how it works, man. In this day and age, it's unfortunate the way the world is, the way the world operates, and the way the world works. Unfortunately, not all economies are the same. Unfortunately, some places are better off and some are not. My country isn't that great, so it isn't fair, to say the least. It's far from that. But unfortunately, it's very, very difficult, and at times almost even impossible for players from Africa. Unless you were like Antetokounmpo and you went early to Greece or whatnot, or many others who left their countries early, and just a different story. But the reality is, it's very difficult for players from Africa to get visas to Europe, to America, to Australia, to many different places. It's very, very difficult. Second of all, if an African, for an African, sorry about that, for an African player to play overseas, one thing that you have to understand is many teams do not offer flight for players unless they have many years of experience, G League, NBA experience, or whatnot. It's very difficult for players from Africa to get a flight. Now, if a player from Africa is lucky to go to Europe and play, or anywhere outside of Africa, they have to pay for their own flight. A flight costs thousands of euros. Sometimes the cheapest is €1,000. It's very difficult for players from Africa to afford a flight to go anywhere for that. And a lot of coaches know, player from Africa, the visa's expensive, the flight's expensive. It's just difficult, So, it doesn't mean it's impossible. Obviously, you should never give up. But, that's kind of explaining that situation with African players. So, I know this video was a little long. I hope it helped someone, but the key to everything is don't give up. It's been a difficult year, and we don't know if it's going to get easier because of everything with COVID-19, but never give up and stay prepared. You never know when your shot's going to come.